Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us, and welcome to CoreTV News at 4 with me, Emmanuel Ezekiel. President-elect Muhammadu Buhari has continued to receive congratulatory messages from the world leaders. The leaders have also praised the peaceful nature of the election and its outcome. Latest among such callers were the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, Turkish Prime Minister Recep Erdogan, and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Others are Chadian President Idris Deby, Denis Sassou Nguesso of Congo-Brazzaville, and Alpha Conde of Guinea. Buhari has also recently answered calls from Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, former U.S. President Bill Clinton, and former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. A statement from the APC presidential team indicates that the president-elect used the opportunity to solicit support for the country in dealing with the threat of Boko Haram that is posing against the country. Staying with the president-elect Muhammadu Buhari, who has assured Nigerians that he would not condone looting of public funds. He also said he would handle state resources with responsibility and honesty. The incoming president gave these assurances while receiving a 130-man delegation from his home state, Katsina, who came to congratulate him on his election as president. Buhari regretted that the citizens had been made poorer in the last 16 years of PDP maladministration, in spite of the country receiving more income in that period than at any other time. He said savings from his war against corruption will be plowed into education with the objective of empowering the citizens. The delegation was led by Chairman of the Katsina State Chapter of the All Progressives Congress, Mustapha Inuwa, and the former governor of the state, Saidu Barda. And now to Easter messages. President Goodluck Jonathan has called on Nigerians to be prepared to make sacrifices for the unity and political stability of the country. President Jonathan made the call in an Easter message he personally signed and made available to journalists by his special advisor on media and publicity, Reuben Abati. He assured Nigerians and urged them to use the Easter holiday to reflect on what more they needed to do to ensure that the ongoing political process is concluded successfully. The president says, with this year's celebration of Easter taking place at a period of very critical national choices and decisions, Nigerians must be prepared and willing to make sacrifices for greater unity, peace, political stability, and progress in our beloved country. In allusion to the successful presidential and National Assembly elections, the president expressed hope for the peaceful and successful conduct of the gubernatorial and state houses of assembly elections. He further urged Nigerians to pray during the Easter period to God, who had brought the nation this far, would continue to bless the country as it marches onward towards the fulfillment of collective vision of a truly united, strong, and prosperous nation. Staying with Easter messages, Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu has asked Nigerians to emulate the virtues of peace and sacrificial living as demonstrated by Jesus Christ. Senator Ekweremadu made a call in his Easter message to Nigerians. He said, only selflessness, as demonstrated by Christ in giving his life in exchange for the salvation of mankind, could move the nation forward. Senator Ekweremadu added that the peaceful conduct of the 2015 elections so far, against all odds and contrary predictions, showed that God was indeed with Nigeria. He, however, called on Nigerians not to relent in their prayers for the peaceful conclusion of the election on April 11 and to also carry the same attitude of non-violence into the remaining political contest. And staying with the Easter message, Edo State Governor Adams Oshiomhole says the peaceful conduct of the March 28 presidential election and the violence-free post-election period is enough reasons for Nigerians to celebrate Easter. Oshiomhole made this known in his Easter message to the people of Edo State, saying that although there had been fears of violence during and after the elections, God has decreed peace. He called on Edo people to use the festive period to strengthen the unity of the country by showing love irrespective of religion. While commending voters in the state for their support during the presidential election, the governor also urged them to continuously pray for their leaders. And now to Imo State. The Imo State Federal Road Safety Corps Command advocates proper usage of road usage during the Easter festivities. The State Sector Commander, Godwin Omiko, in an exclusive interview with CoreTV News, called on road users to observe speed limit and avert accidents as movement around the country is on the increase during the festive period. Our correspondent Ajibade Awofeso tells us more.
With the Easter celebration in the top gear, a period when Christians faithful around the world commemorate the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ, Imo State's Federal Road Safety Commission admonished Nigerian road users traveling across the country to spend the holiday to drive safely.
I want to wish our listeners a happy Easter celebration. As I said, Easter is a time we, the Christians, celebrate the resurrection of Christ, which means the salvation of the Christian folk. And it's a time for people to be happy. It's a time for people to move from one end to the other, to go and celebrate with their loved ones, with their family members. And what that means is that there is always movement, high volume of movement from one end to the other. People coming from Lagos, people coming from Port Harcourt, people moving from one state to the other. So there is high vehicular traffic.
He, however, reiterated the command's readiness to punish any offender who breaks the rules with all appropriate measures.
Those who violate the rules of the road, they are there to be prosecuted, and they were also going to organize mobile courts, mobile courts where there will be instant judgment of any violation of traffic offense. So the enforcement is there, the public enlightenment is there, which is part of what we are doing now, and our men are there to enforce the rule.
He commended INEC on the just concluded presidential election and National Assembly, as well as the forthcoming gubernatorial and House of Assembly polls.
The election process, as we witnessed for the presidential election, was very remarkable. The security situation in the state was very okay. We didn't witness much of violence within this period. Of course, where you have 2 or 3 persons and there is a contest, there is bound to be a quarrel. There is bound to be something, but none generated into a very violent situation, and we really want to thank the electorate for going out en masse and casting their vote to their preferred candidate.
With the current traffic across the country, a safe Easter celebration will be most beneficial to Nigerians. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
Away from Easter-related stories, this report says military authorities have handed over 2 journalists working with Al Jazeera, a Doha-based television international station, to the state security services. It was learned that the journalists were being handed over to the leadership of the State Department for further interrogation and possible release. The defense authorities had said in a statement on Wednesday last week that the 2 journalists were restrained from roaming in the mission area without authorization and necessary security arrangement from the military, and to prevent any form of spying. It was further gathered that the nation's security chiefs had to take the precautionary measure of handing over the 2 journalists to the SSS to prevent people from straying into such sensitive operational areas without authorization. It was stated that the journalists involved in the issue are Nigerians who were being treated in accordance with Nigerian laws. Meanwhile, the Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, could not be reached for his comment on the new development. Now, community leaders and ex-militants in Delta State have warned that they will not accept the exclusion of the Niger Delta people in the allocation of oil blocks in Nigeria. Sources said the interest groups told journalists on Saturday that following the failure of President Goodluck Jonathan to secure the support of Northerners and Southwesterners in the March 28 presidential election, the people of the region now want to take a stand on how they want the oil blocks allocated. The source also said several meetings had been held and more meetings will still be held to arrive at a common position as renewal of oil block licenses will become due soon. The source further revealed that recent destruction of oil pipelines and formations in the Niger Delta area, which Urobo Bagbako had claimed responsibility for, was just a warning signal to the authorities that the people would not be ready to take it lightly anymore. Meanwhile, President-elect Muhammadu Buhari has urged supporters of the All Progressives Congress (APC) to come out en masse on April 11 to vote for the party's governorship and Houses of Assembly candidates. This is contained in a statement issued by Director of Media and Publicity of the Buhari organization, Garuba Shehu. He noted that greater challenges of consolidating the party's electoral victory in the March 28 polls lay ahead. Buhari pointed out that the election of APC governorship and Houses of Assembly candidates was no less important than his own victory during the presidential poll. He said that his election should not be treated in isolation because the APC needs to win at other levels of democratic representation across the country. Buhari also condoled with the families of his supporters who lost their lives celebrating the APC victory and wished those nursing injuries speedy recovery. He solicited moral support for the Independent National Electoral Commission to enable the commission improve on its impressive performance despite logistical challenges and other unforeseen hiccups. And here in Lagos, while addressing the large crowd at the mega rally held in Agege for support of Akinwumi Ambode and other APC candidates, Governor Fashola thanked all supporters for their steadfastness in the party and urged for more votes in the April 11 governorship poll. He said by doing so, Lagos State government will have every access to the government at the center.
For your massive support last week. Congratulate yourself, congratulate Nigeria. Shake the person next to you. Congratulate the person next to you.
He later persuaded the people of Lagos to give APC governorship candidate Akinwumi Ambode 3 million votes.
Thank you for standing up for what you believe. You wanted change in Abuja. Has it happened? What do you want in Lagos? What do you want in Lagos? What do you want in Lagos? Who are you going to vote for? Who are you going to vote for? Nobody can stop that. Yes.
Celebration there. At this point, we'll go for a quick break. When the news returns, we'll tell you how the two main parties in Nigeria are strategizing to ensure victory for their candidates. That's when we return. Stay with us.
Morning, Mr. President. Morning, sir. How are you, Mr. President? How are you, sir? How is the campaign?
We must learn to live together as brothers, or perish together as fools. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Welcome back. The chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Adamu Muazu, has revealed that Lagos and Rivers are the primary targets of the party in the next Saturday's gubernatorial elections across the country. He made this revelation in a statement where he urged members of the party to mobilize ahead of the polls, saying the All Progressives Congress (APC) is currently distracted by its success at the presidential election. Describing the APC's presidential victory as one-off, Muazu says the PDP intends winning in 24 states out of the 29 states where the election would hold. Muazu insists PDP members should be proud of the party's antecedents and do all within their power to emerge victorious on Saturday, saying the key to winning the remaining elections is heavy turnout and voting the PDP all the way. He urged all Progressive Congress candidates to go. He urged all PDP candidates to go out and finish the good fight and come up triumphs in the polls. Now, following the emergence of the APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari as president-elect in the just concluded presidential elections, the estranged 19 All Progressives Congress lawmakers in Ekiti State House of Assembly have served the state governor Ayo Fayose notice of gross misconduct. The letter, entitled "The Notice of Allegations of Gross Misconduct," reads 8 impeachment allegations leveled against the governor, which includes invasion of the House of Assembly with thugs and miscreants, instigating unconstitutional takeover of the House by 7 legislators to sit in contravention of Section 96, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, prevention of the 19 APC legislative members from performing legislative duties with the use of security agents and armed thugs, and sponsoring an unlawful impeachment process in their house. Other allegations listed in the notice are spending Ekiti State funds without the requisite constitutional approval in contravention of the Constitution, running the government of Ekiti State without legally constituted executive council in contravention of Section 192, subsection 2 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and operating an illegal 2014 budget. In his response, Fayose has condemned the lawmakers as acting like jesters. He says he read the notice of impeachment like any other person online, claiming that Adewale Omiri has ceased being the Speaker of the State House. In a related happening, the factional Speaker of the Ekiti State House of Assembly, Dele Olugbemi, has dismissed the purported notice of impeachment against Governor Ayodele Fayose and his deputy, Olushola Eleka, by the All Progressives Congress APC lawmakers. In petition to the State Commissioner of Police, Taiwo Lakonu, and Director of this Department of State Services, Samuel Tamuno, Olugbemi asked for the prosecution of the embattled Speaker Adewale Omiri for forgery, impersonation, and attempt to cause breach of the public peace. Olugbemi described the notice of impeachment as a ploy by the APC to distract the government. According to him, the Assembly never sat at any time to deliberate or pass any motion for impeachment on Fayose. In an April 4 letter written to the State Chief Judge, Justice Ayodeji Daramola, Olugbemi says Adewale Omiri, who signed the purported impeachment notice as Speaker of the State House of Assembly, was duly impeached at the plenary session of the House on November the 20th, 2014. Olugbemi, however, affirmed seeing the purported notice to impeach the Ekiti State Governor in some online newspapers. 7 People's Democratic Party lawmakers on November the 20th, 2014, impeached Omiri and his deputy Tunji Orishalade, and Olugbemi, an ally of the governor, was installed as the Speaker by the faction and had been presiding over the Assembly. Now, the 2 main parties in the forthcoming governorship and state houses of assembly elections, the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, are said to be re-strategizing to ensure success in the April 11 polls. There were strong indications on Saturday that the 2 political parties had been meeting stakeholders in states where they were head-to-head in the March 28 presidential poll. Observers say the results of the presidential and parliamentary elections was said to have spurred both parties to go back to the drawing board. Further investigations revealed that besides house-to-house campaigns, the 2 parties would this week meet community leaders in many states to address low turnout of voters experienced during the presidential polls. An APC chieftain who pleaded anonymity said his party is confident of winning governorship elections. Meanwhile, PDP national leaders had on Thursday met with 836 governorship candidates in Abuja, where it was gathered that they were directed to also work on low voter turnout. Now to security, where lives were lost. The Rivers State Police Command said on Saturday that it had begun a manhunt for the killers of the former council chairman of Ogba Egbema Ndoni local government area, Chief Christopher Adube, and 8 other persons. The unknown gunmen also shot and killed Adube's 2 children, his driver, and some members of the All Progressives Congress who visited him at his Obricom residence, injuring 2 persons in Obricom and Obo communities. In his reaction, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Ahmad Mohammed, said contrary to reports that 7 persons lost their lives in the night raid, the hoodlums actually killed 9 persons, and said the police was leaving no stone unturned to track down those responsible for the killings. The state APC in its reaction said it identified some of those killed as party members, including the former council chairman. Meanwhile, Rivers State Deputy Chairman of the APC, Prince Peter Odiche, told newsmen that the People's Democratic Party was responsible for the night raid that claimed 9 lives in Obricom and Obo communities. But the state publicity secretary of PDP, Mr. Samuel Nwanosike, dismissed Odiche's claim, maintaining that the APC was always politicizing matters bordering on human lives and security. Well, at this point, we'll go for another break. When we come back, we'll bring news outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Now straight to news outside Nigeria, but starting from the African continent, where Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta has vowed to respond in the severest ways possible in ways to treat the Al-Shabaab Islamic militants on Garissa University, in which they attacked and killed 148 people. In an address to the nation, Kenyatta stated the Islamist group posed an existential threat to Kenya. He also said the government would take steps to crack down on those who planned and financed terrorist attack. Vowing to fight terrorism to the end, he said the militants would not succeed in their aim of creating an Islamic caliphate in Kenya. Kenyatta added that the task of combating terrorism had been complicated by the fact that the planners and the financiers of this brutality are deeply embedded in their communities. The president's address came as the relatives of victims queued at the morgue in the central capital, Nairobi, to identify their loved ones. Seeing it as a time for parents to grieve for their loss, Kenyatta declared 3 days of mourning for the victims, amongst which were students. Now to Australia. Protesters waving Australian flags and carrying signs such as "Yes Australia, No Sharia" rally around the country. In events organizers said were against Islamic extremism. Also, protesters carrying homemade IGN reading "No Islam, No Sharia, No Halal" were seen at the event. The Reclaim Australia events drew hundreds of supporters, but also triggered counter rallies from other groups who criticized them as racist and called for greater tolerance. Spokeswoman for the Reclaim Australia group, Catherine Brennan, told reporters that they are pro-Australian values and anti-extreme Islam, but are not anti-Islam, also adding that there was no racism behind the rallies, which she said had attracted people from diverse backgrounds. John Oliver of Reclaim Australia told Australian Broadcasting Corporation that the group was not against any particular race or any particular religion. And that's our package for. Do join us at 5 p.m. as we bring you more reports. I'm Emmanuel Ezekiel, and many thanks for watching.